Is blue light actually ruining your sleep? I've averaged over a 90 sleep score and I've tried a bunch of wild tactics to get me there. So is removing blue light actually something worth considering? In the natural world, the only things that can actually emit light is the sun and fire. And since fire produces only really red and orange wavelengths, the only thing that can produce blue light is the sun. And what happens, as we know, is the sun rises in the morning and falls in the afternoon. There will be a light to moderate amount of blue light in the morning. The blue light will peak at midday and it will dramatically fall in the afternoon. And when the sun's down, there is zero blue light whatsoever. So our biology, our bodies were only really designed to receive blue light during the times when the sun was up, with the peak blue light exposure being at the middle of the day. The issue is right now, most of us are just spending insane amounts of time on our technology, and our technology emits a lot of blue light. So even after the sun's down, we're receiving a huge amount of blue light from things like our technology, but also things like the overhead lights that we have in our houses. A lot of blue light we're actually receiving after the sun goes down, which is actually quite unnatural for our biology. So what happens if we receive blue light into our eyes after the sun goes down? Well, pretty simply, our body thinks it's daytime. So what happens if our body thinks it's daytime? Well, the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to reduce your melatonin production, which is really important in getting high quality and restorative sleep. There's been studies that have shown that exposing yourself to blue light for 1 hour, between an hour and 2 hours before bed, is going to reduce your melatonin production by 50%, which is going to significantly influence the quality of your sleep. The next thing that's going to happen is it is going to delay your sleep onset. Basically not going to feel as sleepy, you're going to push back your bedtime, and you're going to have shorter amounts of time where you're actually sleeping. And of course, if you reduce the quantity of sleep that you're getting, it is going to reduce the quality of your sleep, and it is going to reduce the benefits that come from getting great quality sleep. The next thing that happens if you expose yourself to blue light close to bedtime is it's going to reduce the quality of your sleep. You're going to get less deep sleep, less restorative sleep, and you're going to get more sleep disruptions. The last thing that's going to happen is it's going to increase your nighttime alertness. This blue light you're getting into your eyes is going to increase your cortisol response, which is essentially a stress response. So it's going to put you in that fight or flight state that you get during the day when you're awake, when you're feeling ready to go. And what's going to happen is it's going to decrease your parasympathetic nervous system activation, making it harder for you to relax and get ready to go to bed. So obviously there's a whole list of reasons that it's going to decrease the quantity of sleep you get and the quality of the sleep you get. And since it's actually not that hard to cut out blue light before bed, it is definitely something that is going to be quite a high ROI thing to get out of your life completely. So here are some of the ways that I have reduced my blue light intake to get a very, very good sleep score very, very consistently. The first thing I do, and this is really not hard and it actually makes quite a big difference, is literally just turning off all of the overhead lights in the afternoon. Hopefully you have some sort of lamps or some sort of secondary lights in your house, because if you are receiving this bright overhead light that comes from the overhead light fittings that we have in our house, this is just too much light, especially too much blue light you're getting in the afternoons. It is very, very bright, and because it's very bright, because there's a lot of blue light, naturally your body just thinks, okay, cool, it's daytime. I don't need to worry about sleep. Let me just keep doing my thing. Another one which you can just do, which takes 5 minutes and then you'll just never have to worry about it again, is turn night shift on your devices. Night shift basically removes the blue light from your phone or your laptop completely. So the way I do it is I just have it set all the time. I basically have no blue light coming from my devices. I get blue light from the sunlight. I get blue light from the overhead lights. I don't need to also get it from my screens. The screen will look a little bit yellow and orangey, which is a little bit weird for the first 2 hours, and then you just get completely used to it. And then whenever you look at a normal screen, you think it looks a little bit weird. So it may take a few hours to adjust to, but it's definitely worth it, considering you can basically then go on your device close to bedtime. You don't have to worry about receiving blue light, which is going to influence the quantity and quality of your sleep. The next thing I do is I've just invested in a pair of these blue light blocking glasses. They have this yellowy orange tint to them, and it basically removes blue light from coming into my eyes. This one is particularly useful, for example, at night if you have to get up and go take a pee, go to the bathroom. Unless you're stumbling through the dark to get to the toilet, you're probably going to have to turn on some kind of light. And if you're turning on light, it's going to be blue light, which means you're getting blue light at like 2, 3 in the morning. Probably not a good idea. So if you just put these next to your bedside table, then you can just get up, put these things on. Life is good. I just also wear these a few hours before bed because it just means you can basically have a normal environment, but just have these on and you're not receiving any blue light, which is pretty nice. And as you can see, you can tell they work because you can see the reflection of blue light from the screens in front of me. The next thing, which is a little bit more autistic, a little bit weird thing to do, but you can invest in smart lights, which you can change the color of the light on. You can either just get this for a lamp you put in your bedroom, or you can rig up your entire house with this. But what I would try and do is 2 hours before bed, switch your light to red. So all the lights in your house are emitting red. Because red is on the complete other end of the light spectrum from blue, it is emitting 0 blue light. And this means that you can actually see at night, but you're not getting any of that blue light in. It's almost emulating what you would get from something like a campfire or the firelight that you might get naturally back in our prehistoric dinosaur days, which is more consistent with our biology than having some artificial blue light on in the background. So first thing I would do with that is I would just get a smart light for your lamp in your bedroom because yeah, you can rig up the entire house, but that is a bit of a process. But if you just get a smart light, you can automatically set it to turn to red at certain times in the day. It is not a very difficult thing to do. Another one of those set and forget things, but it can reduce your blue light exposure quite significantly before bed. I use this, for example, I read a Kindle before bed, which doesn't emit any blue light. And of course, you can't read in the pitch black, so you're going to need some sort of light on. So I have red light next to me in bed while I read a Kindle. And that's a perfect way of not getting a huge amount of stimulation before bed, but also not getting any blue light and, doing something other than just sitting in the darkness, waiting for the 2 hours before you can go to bed. And that ties perfectly into the last one, and that is to find some sort of activity before bed that doesn't require blue light. So a lot of us before bed are sitting in bed with our phones glued to our faces, scrolling TikTok or scrolling social media, or you're probably watching this YouTube video in bed right now. The problem is, yeah, you're getting a huge amount of blue light, but even if you use this night shift mode, as I suggested, you're also getting quite a high amount of stimulation. And if you're having a lot of stimulation before bed, you're not getting that parasympathetic nervous system activation. You're not winding down before bed. You're very alert, high cortisol response. Not going to be easy for you to go to bed. So even if you don't have blue light coming from the screen, just having something super stimulating is not a good idea right before bed. So I'd recommend something like a Kindle, read a book or something, talk to someone, whatever it is. Just don't do something super stimulating, especially something that's going to emit blue light from a device right before bed. A big mistake I see a lot of people making is I see these weird biohacking dudes, and they'll wear these glasses during the middle of the day. They're wearing like yellowish glasses at 12 a.m. Not 12 a.m., at 12 p.m. And it's like, your biology wants you to receive blue light, especially during the middle of the day. So why are you removing blue light completely? That doesn't actually make sense. I'm not sure what their logic is behind removing blue light completely, but you do want blue light into your eyes. It's going to set your circadian rhythm properly, and having a good circadian rhythm is going to improve the quality of your sleep. But doing something ridiculous like wearing blue light blockers in the middle of the day makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever. So if you do invest in these, this is something you use before bed. It's not something you use all day. So just be cautious of that. Just because we don't want blue light before bed doesn't mean we don't want blue light at all. Blue light is absolutely something that has been present within us as humans for as long as time began, really. So yes, blue light is going to significantly reduce the quality of your sleep if you're getting blue light right before bed. There's a lot of things you can do to reduce your blue light intake, which don't take a lot of time. Switch your devices to night shift mode, turn off the overhead lights before bed, invest in some sort of blue light blocking glasses, use some sort of red light at night rather than regular blue light. There's a lot of things you can do, but there is really no excuse for you to be getting a huge amount of blue light in, because it's one of those things that you can remove very easily and it will have a huge ROI on the quality of your sleep. And having really, really good quality of sleep is going to improve your mental performance, your physical performance, your general well-being. It's a very, very good idea to try to optimize your sleep to get it as good as possible so you can perform optimally as a human being. So that is the end of the video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Hopefully there's something that you can take away and improve your life in some way. Your life in some way. Otherwise, there's probably a video somewhere around here that might interest you. So watch that and I will see you in the next video.